The fork clattered against the porcelain plate, shattering the post-Easter silence in the cozy suburban dining room of the Harlan family home in suburban Chicago. 17-year-old Orrin Harlan had just uttered the words that would upend his life. "Mom, Dad, I'm gay." His father's face turned crimson, not from the wine, but from a rage that had simmered beneath the surface of their picture-perfect Catholic life, while his mother gasped, her hand flying to the cross necklace around her neck, as if it could ward off the confession like an evil spirit. In the moments that followed, the room erupted into chaos. His father, Robert, a stern accountant who prided himself on order and tradition, slammed his fist on the table, sending the remnants of the lemon meringue pie scattering. "Not in this house. Not under my roof," he bellowed, his voice echoing off the floral wallpaper. Orrin's mother, Evelyn, tears streaming down her face, whispered prayers under her breath, begging for divine intervention. His younger sister, Mia, only 12, stared wide-eyed, confused by the sudden storm. The Easter dessert, meant to cap off a day of egg hunts and church services, became the backdrop for his expulsion. By nightfall, Orrin was packing a duffel bag, his father's ultimatum ringing in his ears. Leave now or face worse. With nowhere to go, he stepped into the cool April evening, the door slamming shut behind him, locking out the only world he'd known. The streets of Chicago swallowed him that night. Orrin wandered aimlessly at first, the city lights blurring through his tears. He crashed on a park bench until a kind stranger, an outreach worker from a local LGBTQ shelter, found him shivering in the dawn light. "Kid, you don't have to do this alone," the man said, offering a card for the Rainbow Haven Center. It was there, in the cramped but welcoming confines of the shelter, that Orrin began to rebuild. He met others like him, teens tossed aside by families who couldn't reconcile love with their prejudices. The center provided meals, counseling, and a path forward. Orrin enrolled in night classes, working odd jobs at a diner to scrape by. The sting of rejection fueled him. Every rejection letter from colleges turned into motivation. He applied for scholarships aimed at at-risk youth, landing one that got him into community college. As months turned to years, Orrin's life diverged sharply from the one he'd left. He transferred to the University of Illinois, majoring in social work, driven by a desire to help kids like himself. In his sophomore year, he met Jordan, a fellow student with a warm smile and a shared history of family strife. Jordan's parents, liberal academics from New York, had embraced his coming out, but he'd lost friends and faced bullying in high school. Their bond formed over late-night study sessions and shared dreams of changing the world. It was innocent at first, coffee dates, walks along Lake Michigan, but soon blossomed into something deeper. Orrin felt seen, truly seen, for the first time. Jordan's touch was gentle, his words affirming, erasing the echoes of his father's disdain. Yet the past lingered like a shadow. Orrin avoided holidays, especially Easter, opting instead for quiet gatherings with found family at the shelter. He volunteered there, counseling newcomers, his story a beacon of hope. "Family isn't always blood," he'd say, but deep down the wound festered. Letters to his parents went unanswered. Calls were met with dial tones. Mia, his sister, reached out once via social media, but their mother discovered it and shut it down. Orrin learned to compartmentalize, focusing on his career. After graduation, he landed a job at a nonprofit in downtown Chicago, advocating for LGBTQ rights. Jordan, now a teacher, supported him through it all. They moved in together, building a life in a modest apartment overlooking the city skyline. Laughter filled their home, but Orrin's smiles often hid a quiet ache. One crisp autumn day, 5 years after that fateful Easter, Orrin received a letter. Not from his parents, but from Mia. She was 17 now, the same age he'd been when cast out. "Orrin, I miss you. Things are bad here. Dad's health is failing, and Mom's in denial. I think about you every day." Enclosed was a photo of the family, minus him, at a recent gathering. It stirred something in Orrin, a mix of anger and longing. He showed it to Jordan, who urged caution. "They hurt you deeply. Are you ready to face that again? Oren wasn't sure, but he replied to Mia, starting a secret correspondence. Through her, he learned the family's facade was cracking. Robert's business had faltered during the recession, Evelyn's faith wavered amid community scandals, and Mia herself was questioning her sexuality, terrified of repeating history. The exchanges grew deeper. Mia confided her crushes on girls at school, her fear of coming out. Oren offered guidance, drawing from his pain. Be true to yourself, but have a plan, he advised. Jordan worried it was reopening old scars, but Oren saw it as redemption. Then came the bombshell. Robert had suffered a heart attack. The family was reeling, debts mounting. Mia begged Oren to visit. They need you, even if they won't admit it. Against Jordan's better judgment, Oren agreed, but on his terms. He'd bring Jordan, introducing him as his partner. It was a test of their growth or lack thereof. The drive to the suburbs felt eternal. As they pulled up to the familiar house, Oren's hands trembled on the wheel. Evelyn opened the door, her face a mask of forced politeness. Oren, it's been so long. Robert, frail in his recliner, nodded curtly. Mia hugged him tightly, whispering thanks. Jordan stood by, polite but firm. Dinner was awkward, small talk skirting the elephant in the room. When Evelyn asked about Oren's life, he didn't hold back. I'm happy. I have a great job and Jordan here is my partner. We've been together for years. The room fell silent. Robert's jaw tightened. Evelyn's eyes darted away. Mia beamed quietly. Tension simmered. Over dessert. Ironically, pie, Robert muttered. So you're still that way? Oren met his gaze. Yes, Dad. And I'm proud of it. The evening ended civilly, but as they left, Evelyn pulled Oren aside. We've prayed for you every day. It wasn't an apology, but a start. Back home, Jordan held him as he cried, releasing years of pent-up grief. The visits became sporadic at first, then more regular. Oren and Jordan would drive out every few months, sharing meals and stories. Mia flourished under Oren's influence, coming out to the family with his support. To everyone's surprise, Robert and Evelyn didn't explode. Perhaps age and illness had softened them, or maybe Mia's gentle persistence wore them down. I love her no matter what, Evelyn said one evening, though her voice wavered. Robert grumbled but stayed silent. It was progress, fragile but real. Oren's career soared. He rose to director at the nonprofit, spearheading campaigns against conversion therapy bans in Illinois. His work drew media attention, landing him interviews on local news. One segment caught his parents' eye. Watching their son articulate the harms of rejection, they squirmed. Mia forced conversations. See what you did to him? He could have been part of our lives. Guilt crept in. Evelyn joined a support group for parents of LGBTQ kids, learning terms like ally and acceptance. Robert resisted, but his health scares made him reflective. I was wrong, he admitted to Evelyn one night, words he'd never voiced aloud. Meanwhile, Oren and Jordan's relationship deepened. They discussed marriage, adoption, dreams once unimaginable. But shadows loomed. At a family gathering for Mia's high school graduation, old prejudices resurfaced. A cousin, emboldened by alcohol, made a snide remark about the gays ruining America. Robert laughed uncomfortably, not defending Oren. The slight cut deep. Jordan pulled Oren aside. We don't have to stay. But Oren chose confrontation. Uncle Ted, that's not funny. It's hurtful. The room tensed, arguments flaring. Evelyn mediated, but Robert's silence spoke volumes. The incident lingered. Oren pulled back, focusing on work. His nonprofit partnered with national organizations, pushing for federal protections. Success brought fulfillment but also burnout. Jordan noticed the strain. You're carrying too much. Let go of the past. Oren tried, but a call from Mia changed everything. Dad's dying, Oren. Cancer. He wants to see you. The news hit like a freight train. Robert had months at best. Oren agonized. Jordan supported whatever choice he made. Forgiveness is for you, not them. They drove to the house, finding Robert bedridden, a shell of the man who'd cast him out. Evelyn hovered, exhausted. Mia sat vigil. In a private moment, Robert grasped Oren's hand. "Son, I'm sorry. I was scared, ignorant. I lost years with you." Tears flowed. Oren felt a weight lift, but anger bubbled. "You threw me away like trash. Do you know what that did to me?" Robert nodded weakly. "I do now. Please, forgive an old fool." The reconciliation was bittersweet. Family therapy sessions followed, unearthing buried resentments. Evelyn admitted her role, how fear of community judgment blinded her. Mia shared her fears. Jordan became part of the circle, his presence normalizing what once was taboo. As Robert's condition worsened, Oren spent more time there, bridging gaps. He organized a small Easter gathering, symbolic, sans drama. They shared stories, laughed tentatively. Dessert was pie, but this time it sweetened bonds. Robert passed peacefully that summer, surrounded by family, including Oren and Jordan. The funeral was a turning point. In his eulogy, Oren spoke of forgiveness, not forgetting. "Dad taught me resilience, even in his mistakes." Attendees whispered, some approving, others judgmental. The community, once tight-knit Catholic, had evolved somewhat, but whispers of that gay son persisted. In the aftermath, Evelyn leaned on Oren. "I want to make amends." She volunteered at his nonprofit, educating others. Mia went to college openly queer with Oren's guidance. Life moved forward. Oren and Jordan married in a simple ceremony by the lake, inviting the family. Evelyn walked Oren down the aisle, tears of joy mixing with regret. Yet not all was resolved. Societal clashes persisted. At a family reunion, a distant relative confronted Oren about his lifestyle, citing religious texts. The debate escalated, dividing the group. Jordan defended fiercely, but Oren pondered the cost. Was integration worth the constant battles? As years passed, Oren reflected on his journey. From homeless teen to advocate, husband, and now adoptive father to a young boy from the shelter system. His life was full, but the scars shaped him. 10 years after Robert's death, Oren's world had expanded. He and Jordan adopted Liam, a spirited 7-year-old with a history of foster care bounces due to his emerging gender questions. Raising him brought joy and challenges, mirroring Oren's past. Evelyn doted on her grandson, her transformation complete. She marched in pride parades, a rainbow pin on her lapel. Mia, now a lawyer specializing in LGBTQ rights, collaborated with Oren on cases. The Harlan family, once fractured, seemed mended. But beneath the surface, tensions brewed. Evelyn's church community, while more inclusive, still harbored conservatives who viewed her involvement as betrayal. Whispers turned to outright confrontations. At a church potluck, a longtime friend accused her of promoting sin. Evelyn stood firm. Love is not sin. The fallout isolated her, but strengthened her resolve. Oren faced his own battles. His nonprofit grew, attracting funding but also backlash. Conservative groups protested events, labeling them indoctrination. Death threats arrived via email, forcing security measures. Jordan worried constantly. Is this worth it? We have Liam now. Oren wavered, but memories of his ejection fueled him. If not us, who? A pivotal moment came during a national debate on LGBTQ rights. Oren testified before Congress, sharing his story. I was kicked out over Easter dessert for being gay. Families like mine need protection. The testimony went viral, polarizing opinions. Supporters hailed him, detractors vilified. Back home, old family acquaintances reached out, some apologetic, others accusatory. Mia uncovered a family secret during this time. Going through Robert's old papers, she found letters from his youth, hinting at repressed attractions. Grandpa might have been struggling himself, she told Oren. Dehumanized Robert, explaining his vehemence. Oren felt a pang of empathy, but also frustration. He projected his fears onto me. The revelation sparked family discussions. Evelyn admitted knowing vaguely, but burying it. We didn't talk about such things. It added layers to their healing, but also controversy. When Mia shared it in a blog post, anonymously, it sparked online debates about generational trauma in queer histories. Liam's school became another battleground. When he expressed interest in wearing dresses, bullies targeted him. Oren and Jordan advocated fiercely, pushing for inclusive policies. A parent meeting turned heated, with one father shouting, "You're confusing our kids." Oren responded calmly, "We're teaching acceptance." The school implemented changes, but the incident highlighted ongoing societal rifts. Jordan's family, always supportive, contrasted sharply. Holidays with them were affirming, but Oren couldn't shake comparisons. "Why couldn't mine be like this from the start?" Jordan reminded him, "They are now, mostly." A crisis hit when Evelyn fell ill Alzheimer's. As her memory faded, old prejudices resurfaced. She'd forget Oren's marriage, asking about his wife. It hurt, but Oren visited diligently, retelling stories to anchor her. Mia helped, but the strain showed. Liam, now a teen, questioned his heritage. "Why did they kick you out, Dad?" Oren explained honestly, emphasizing growth. Amid this, Oren planned a memoir, writing unearthed raw emotions. Jordan edited, providing balance. The book, titled Desert and Dismissal, detailed his journey, sparking pre-release buzz. Critics called it provocative, highlighting family rejection's long-term effects. Publication day arrived. Reviews poured in praise for its honesty, backlash for attacking traditional values. A conservative talk show invited Oren, turning into an ambush. The host grilled him, "Aren't you just seeking revenge?" Oren held firm, "I'm seeking understanding." The book tour brought encounters with readers, survivors sharing stories, parents seeking advice. One evening, a man approached, "Your story is mine." "Thank you." It validated the pain. Back home, Evelyn's condition worsened. In lucid moments, she'd apologize again. "I failed you," Oren reassured. "We're here now." Liam came out as non-binary, choosing they/them pronouns. The family adapted, but external pressures mounted. A local bill threatened LGBTQ curricula in schools. Oren rallied opposition, Mia litigated. Victory came, but at cost exhaustion. As the decade closed, Oren reflected on cycles of hurt and healing. His life, once defined by rejection, now exemplified resilience. With the memoir's success, Oren became a public figure. Speaking engagements filled his calendar, from TED Talks to university lectures. Jordan managed the home front, ensuring Liam's stability. But fame brought scrutiny. Tabloids dug into his past, sensationalizing the Easter ejection. From homeless to hero, gay man's revenge on family. Oren cringed at the framing. It's not revenge, it's reckoning. Evelyn's decline accelerated. In her final months, she lived with them, her presence a daily reminder of evolution. She'd hold Liam's hand, murmuring, "Be you." Her passing was peaceful, the family united in grief. At the funeral, Oren eulogized, "Mom learned to love unconditionally. That's her legacy." Mia married her partner, Sarah, in a vibrant ceremony. Oren walked her down the aisle, Jordan beaming beside. It symbolized closure, but societal storms raged. A Supreme Court case on LGBTQ rights loomed, with Oren's organization amicus briefs. Tensions peaked during oral arguments. Protests outside turned violent. Oren received a brick through his office window, scrawled with hate. Jordan issued an ultimatum, "Scale back or we move." Oren compromised, delegating more. They relocated to a quieter suburb, prioritizing family. Liam thrived, advocating in school clubs. But the move unearthed neighborhood biases. A PTA meeting debated inclusive books. Oren spoke up, facing pushback. "Think of the children," a mother cried. "I am," Oren replied. "My child." A surprising alliance formed with a conservative neighbor, Tom, whose son came out. Tom sought advice, bridging divides. "I was like your dad," he admitted. Their friendship humanized opponents, but not all were swayed. Oren's health faltered under stress. A mild heart attack, echoing Robert's. Hospitalized, he reflected on patterns. Jordan at his bedside. We've come far, but don't sacrifice us. Recovery brought perspective. Oren stepped down as director, consulting instead. Liam, now 18, applied to colleges, inspired by Oren's path. I want to help people too. Pride swelled, but fear lingered. Would history repeat? A family gathering marked the 20th anniversary of that Easter. They gathered at the old house, now Mia's. Over dinner, stories flowed. Dessert was pie, laughter replacing tears. But Oren had planned something, a meal of truth. He revealed a documentary based on his memoir, featuring family interviews. It's time to share our story fully. Mia supported. Jordan hesitated. The film delved into generational trauma, Robert's possible queerness, Evelyn's journey. Previews sparked controversy. Exploiting family pain? Critics said. Release day ignited debates. Panels discussed. Is forgiveness obligatory? Social media buzzed with Harlan's story. Supporters praised vulnerability. Detractors called it divisive. At a screening, Oren faced Q&A. A young man asked, did they deserve forgiveness? Oren paused. Forgiveness isn't about deserving. It's about freeing yourself. The film won awards, but backlash intensified. A relative sued for defamation, claiming misrepresentation. Mia defended pro bono. The case dismissed, but rifts reopened. Liam navigated their identity publicly, facing online trolls. Oren guided. Your worth isn't in their words. As conflicts mounted, Oren questioned his choices. Had he pushed too far? Jordan reassured. You've sparked change. The story culminated in a national interview. Oren shared, from outed over dessert to this. It's about choices. Hate or heal. The documentary's impact rippled outward. Schools adopted it for curricula, sparking discussions on family dynamics and LGBTQ acceptance. Oren received letters from estranged families seeking reconciliation. One, from a father. Your story made me reach out to my son. It affirmed the purpose. But personal tolls mounted. Jordan and Oren's marriage strained under the spotlight. Arguments flared. I didn't sign up for this circus. Counseling helped, reaffirming their bond. Liam, in college, distanced themselves for independence but called often. Mia faced professional backlash. Clients withdrew amid controversy. Worth it, she said. Sarah supported her through it. A decade later, Oren, now in his 50s, retired to writing. His second book explored societal progress or lack thereof. Anti-LGBTQ legislation surged in some states, undoing gains. Oren testified again, older but wiser. At a family Easter 30 years since the incident, they gathered. Liam brought their partner. Mia's kids played. Over dessert, Oren raised a toast. To choices that heal. But he had one more meal to serve. He'd uncovered more about Robert. Journals confirming his struggles. Sharing with the family. He was like us, trapped. Provoked tears, understanding. Publicly, Oren released an addendum to the documentary. It ignited fresh debates. Does outing the dead serve justice? Oren's life, a tapestry of pain and triumph, posed enduring questions. Is forgiveness always the path to healing? Or can holding on to truth be equally liberating?